For good brain score, never skip any questions in the exam. So please practice answer sheet questions also. And if you don't have more time for the answer sheet questions, please practice answer sheet questions a week before your exam, only once or twice. So please practice these answer sheet questions, and it takes you only half an hour. So please practice these questions and secure your brain score.
What do we call the phase in a trial in which both parties interrogate each other? Cross-examination. What do we say if we call brothers and sisters in a sing way? Siblings. What is the portable breathing apparatus for divers? Aqualung. What do you call the dark shape your body make on the ground in the sun? Shadow. What is the conservation of non-renewable energy? Recycling. What will happen to a fragile item if it is not handled carefully? Smash. Break. Broken. What type of work is a sabbatical a lengthy time away from? Teaching. What do we call a statement presented in court by a defendant or a lawyer? Plea. Where is a suspect convicted of a crime? Court. What is the synonym of destiny? Fate. A fortune. What do we call a private teacher who gives you lessons outside school hours? Tutor. Which country gifted the Statue of Liberty to USA in 1886? France. Which one owns the smallest ocean in the world? Arctic. Where is white elephant found? Thailand. How many countries participated as founding member of United Nations? 51. What is the opposite of affluence? Poverty. Which one do you spend longer time in, eating, drinking, or sleep? Sleep. What do we call the period between sunrise and sunset? Daytime. What do we call the water flowing down the cliff? Waterfall. What is the three-dimensional shape of circle? Sphere. What is the verb that means employing someone or renting something? Hire. What do we call an amount of money that is taken off the usual cost of something? Discount. Reduction. What is the working principle of a washing machine called? Centrifugation. In which unit is nuclear sizes measured or expressed? Fermi. Who is known as father of zoology? Aristotle. The speed of light will be minimum while passing through. Water or glass? Glass. What is the hardest part of the human body? Tooth. Sound following a flash of lightning is called thunder. Which is the animal without red blood cells? Earthworm. How many strings are there in a guitar? 6. What is the national game of Canada? Ice hockey. How many months make a century? 1200. Ice sports are likely to feature in which Olympics? Summer or winter? Winter. Who reads the news on television? Newsreader. Viewer. Viewers. Newscaster. Anchor. In which ocean Bermuda Triangle region is located? Atlantic. What is a building called where dead bodies are kept? Aviary. What is a group of 3 powerful people called? Triumvirate. What is a person who regards the whole world as his country called? Cosmopolitan. The study of the body is called physiology. A thing which is no longer in use is known as obsolete. In between which 2 countries is Dead Sea located? One is Jordan and other is Israel. One who is not easily pleased by anything. Maiden.
What is water fit for drinking called? Potable. A government by the rich people is called plutocracy. What is a person who thinks only of himself called? Egoist. What is the person who leads others called? Pioneer. Who invented computer? Charles Babbage. One who knows many languages is called polyglot. Who invented zero? Arya-Bhat. Number 13 is unlucky in which religion? Christian. A medicine that prevents infection by killing germs is called antiseptic. What is the common term for websites such as Facebook and Twitter? Social media. Social networking.
What do you call someone who has no money? Pauper. What do we call a dream that is very frightening or unpleasant? Nightmare. What do we call the document in which a political party announces their plans before elections? Manifesto. What do you call your nephew's dad? Brother. What do we call a book containing writings on a particular theme? Compilation. A government where the power is concentrated in the hands of one person. Autocracy. A country ruled by two countries. Condominium. How would you describe an economy based largely on farming? Agricultural. Rural. A place where people may obtain food and refreshment. Restaurant. What is study of stamp collection? Philately.
What is the verb form of the noun abstention? Abstain. What do we call the Times New Roman in Word? Typeface/font. When a company's financial status is improved, do its revenues decrease or increase? Increase. Is plastic or paper easier to recycle? Paper. What is the term for the political line that separates two nations? Border. Which of the following represents a strong economy? High unemployment or low unemployment? Low unemployment. A person who wishes to throw his establishment. Anarchist. What is the process of teaching and learning called? Education. What is the hard object in the center of peaches, apples, and pears? Seeds? How do you describe the line that divides a circle in two pieces? Chord. What do you call a group of mountains? Range.
Which part of our body does a gastroscope look into? Stomach. What do you call a word formed from the first letters of other words? Acronym. What do we call the building that doctors and nurses work in? Hospital clinic. What do you call the food made without applying chemicals or artificial additives? Organic food. What is the item of footwear intended to protect and comfort human foot? Shoes, socks. How do we call the young horse? Pony foal. Which one would you most likely to see in the lake, a swan or a crocodile? Swan. Where can we find the page numbers of books? Footer. What is the name of male sheep? Ram. How many years are there in a bicentennial? 200. When a person's blood alcohol content is higher than the standard range, what activity are they not allowed to do? Driving. What is the opposite of ending in a film or movie? Prologue. What is the phrase used to describe the way something repeatedly increases and decreases? Ebb and flow. What do you call a doctor specialized in eye treatments? Oculist. Ophthalmologist. What do we call famous people? Celebrity. What do we call a city in a country that is responsible to govern it? Political capital. What is the act of jumping into the water? Diving. What would a person do usually on sabbatical? Study. Travel. Do scapegoats escape or undertake the crime? Undertake. Unions work for who, workers or managers? Workers.
If you ask someone how old they are, what do you want to know? Age. What is the chemical used to ripen fruits? Ethylene gas. What are the celebrations like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, etc. called by a joint name? Festivals. What is a line that gradually bends like part of a circle? Curve/arc. What is glass made from? Sand. What do you call the money you pay for speeding on the road? Fine. What do you call a leave which is taken for a general reason? Casual leave. What do we call the document in which a political party announces their plans before elections? Manifesto. What is the storyline or the series of scenes of novels, movies, short stories, or plays? Plot. What do you call your nephew's dad? Brother.
What do we call the largest land animal living in Africa or India? Elephant. What do we call a belief or set of beliefs held by a religious group? Creed. Doctrine. Tenet. Where do we conduct experiments? Laboratory. Which part of a train produces the power that pulls the train? Locomotive. What job is concerned with instructing actors while producing a film or movie? Director. If you want to have a cup of coffee without milk or cream, what kind of coffee should you order? Black coffee. What do we call the type of book that has a stiff hardcover? Hardcover. Hardback. What color do tree leaves usually turn in autumn? Yellow. What is the largest lake in the world? Caspian. When a runner runs, what is this state of breathing? Gas.
An impression or a mark on a surface left by a person who walked by is called footprint, footmark. What is the sour-tasting seasoning liquid called? Vinegar. According to some religions, what is the perfect place where people are said to go when they die? Paradise. Heaven. Which of the two words is used to describe a thin person, slim or stocky? Slim. What is the term used to define the value that a particular coin or a bill has? Denomination. How do you make food or drink go down your throat into your stomach? Swallow. What is the chemical that is used for destroying plants, especially weeds? Herbicides. How do we describe materials that are able to conduct electricity? Conductive. What do we call a group of islands? Archipelago. What do we call the story a person tells to make people laugh? Joke.
What do we call the nails on the end of a cat's foot? Claw paw. Which kind of dance is related to swans? Ballet. What do we call a long-running race of about 42 kilometers or 26 miles? Marathon. A secret plan made by a group to do something unlawful or harmful is called conspiracy. Plot. If you were sick, would you eat a popsicle or medicine? Medicine. Where would you write your personal experiences, in a diary or in a ledger? Diary. The upper part of a leg is known as thigh. What is the loss of a potential benefit called when a decision to choose another alternative is made? Opportunity cost. What is the upper structure that covers and protects a building? Roof. A person who writes biographies of others is called biographer. What is the process called when you send a rocket into space? Launch. A river that flows into a larger river is called tributary.
What handicap equipment is used for broken legs? Crutch walking stick. What are wine glasses and spectacles made of? Glass. What do you call the country where you were born? Motherland, homeland. What do we call the activity of taking out weeds from the ground? Weeding. What is the opposite of emigrate? Immigrate. What do we call the colored liquid for writing, drawing, and printing? Ink. What do we call the jewelry worn around your wrist? Bracelet. What do we call a covering of very thin transparent material worn by a bride to hide her face? Veil. What is the back part of your foot that is below your ankle? Heel. What do we call the equipment used to make things look bigger? Magnifier. How do we call animals or plants living or growing in natural conditions? Wild. What is the short form of a word or expression? Abbreviation.
What is a small stick made of wood or cardboard that is used for lighting a fire? Match. What do we call the people whose job is to make clothes for individual customers? Dressmaker tailor. What is the small shiny white ball that forms inside the shell of oyster? Pearl marguerite. What do we call the war between groups of people in the same country? Civil war. Which tool with narrow pointed teeth do we use to make our hair neat? Comb. Which word do we use to describe 3 times? Triple, treble, threefold. What do we call the glass at the front of a car? Windscreen, windshield. What do we call the periods of time when schools and colleges are closed? Vacation. What is the custom of being married to only one person at a time? Monogamy. What is the opposite of retail? Wholesale.
What is it that a train moves along? Track. What is the opposite of forwards? Backwards. What do we call a person who is waiting for doing something? Standby. Which piece of equipment is used to control the direction of ships? Rudder rudders. Where do ships load and unload goods or find shelter from storms? Port. Harbor. Which one is a psychologist good at, surgery or therapy? Therapy. Who is the person who shares the same room with you? Roommate. What do we call a diagram in which an object would appear to viewers if it were cut from top to bottom? Section. What do we call a person who studies mystery? Mystic. Occult. What is the antonym of innocent? Guilty. Who is in charge of a ship? Captain. What is opposite of bitter? Sweet. What do we use to rest our heads on in bed? Pillow. What do we call a person who leaves college before finishing his studies? Dropout. What do we call a room just below the roof of a house, often used for storing things? Attic loft. What material is normally used to make windows and light bulbs? Glass. When a runner runs, what is the state of breathing? Gas. What do we call the money an employer pay an employee because of the damage caused in work? Compensation. What do we call the opposite of destiny? Free will. What do we call a piece of artificial hair worn by a judge in some courts of law? Hairpiece wig. What do we call a device that cuts grass? Mower. What is the opposite of damp? Dry. When you want to upload a picture or other file into an email, what will you do? Attach. What do we call the story a person tells to make people laugh? Joke. What do we call the hair that covers the body of sheep? Wolf lace. Who invented the general theory of relativity? Einstein. Who invented Arabic numerals? Hindus. What's the name of the ocean between America and Europe? Atlantic. What do we use for typing? what is the national treasure in China? Panda. One final step of a bakery. Icing topping. Where did the first industrial revolution happen? England. How many states are there in America? 50. How many lines are there in a sonnet? 14. How many circles are there on the Olympic flag? 5. What is the capital letter for in the street? Parking. What includes everything in the world such as stars and planets? Universe, cosmos. What do you call the device with 2 or more blades turning quickly to cause a ship or an airplane to move? Propeller. What do you call a person who lives permanently? Immortal. What do you call the largest main stem of a tree from which the branches grow? Trunk. What do we call the action of expressing disapproval of somebody or opinions about someone's faults and bad qualities? Criticism, critique. What do we call a state of being untidy, badly prepared, or badly organized? Disorder. What device enables you to change television channels at a distance? Remote control. Which part of a tree grows under the ground and absorbs nutrients and water from the soil? Root. What do we call the outer covering of a tree? Bark. What do we call the agreement between 2 groups of people to stop fighting or arguing for a short time? Truce, fire. Which word can mean both color and fruit, red, orange, or purple? Orange. What do we call the process in which people move to a foreign country in order to live and work permanently? Immigration. What term do we apply to describe the amount of water in the air? Moisture. Where are penguins mainly found? Antarctic, South Pole. What do we call the tools that the Chinese people typically use to pick up the foods when eating? Chopsticks. What do you call the property someone leaves to others in a will? Heritage. What color do tree leaves usually turn in autumn? Yellow. What is the full name for UFO? Unidentified flying object. What do you call learning a lot of things in a short time in preparation for an exam? Cramming a cram. What is the mark used to show that 1 or more letters have been left out? Apostrophe. What do you call a notice, picture, or film telling people about a product or service? Advertisement. What do you call your uncle's son? Cousin. How many legs does a tripod have? 3. What do eyes produce while crying? Tears. What do you call a person who fights against the government? Rebel. What do you call a book containing writings on a particular theme? Compilation. How do you describe the products that can be used for a long time without breaking or getting weaker? Durable. What do you call a noun that is made of 2 or more words, such as greenhouse, bookshop, and deadline? Compound. Which medical instrument will a doctor use for putting drugs into a patient's body? Syringe. How do you describe the food that is not cooked? Raw. What is the collective name for cups, bowls, and bottles? Container. What is the opposite of false? True/correct. What do you call the act of joining two or more separate companies into one? Merger. What is the row of bones down your back? Spine and backbone.
Please like, share and subscribe our channel, and if you get your video informative, please also press the bell icon for more upcoming videos. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe the channel for upcoming videos, and also press the bell icon for notifications.